So this film and Inside Out are in the same Oscar-nominated category together. Think about that for a second. Hello once again, watchers of Good Movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today, we're going to be talking about the film Anomalisa. This is a film which I knew very little about before going into it. I think I saw one trailer a couple months ago when I was seeing either Room or Danish Girl or something, but I knew very little going into this film, and that's usually the best way to enjoy a movie sometimes. But it can also make it a little bit confusing to start out with. The movie for me started off a bit slow because we were introduced right away in this film to a guy named Michael Stone. He is this high up author, executive person who has written this book about how to be a better customer service employee, something I could probably read and learn a little bit from. He has a lot of people that love him, and this is something which a lot of people strive to achieve in their lives, is just this mass quantity of people which love what you do and love you as a person. He has this, and yet it's not really something that he desperately wants. He sees the love that people have for him as just this thing which is set on what he has done and not necessarily as him as a person. And this is something which seems to depress him. That's what made this film kind of hard for me to watch. I didn't really know entirely what was going on in this guy's head, because he says multiple times there's something wrong with me, but I don't know exactly what's wrong with him. It has to be some sort of mental disorder to some degree. I'm just not an expert enough to figure out what exactly it is. And then about halfway through the film, he comes across this woman named Lisa. She and her friend are there to watch his big speech that he's going to give to a bunch of these customer service people, and they run into him, they get drinks, and then he and Lisa end up interacting together alone and separately. And that's probably the more interesting aspect of this movie, is because you see these two different characters and you see him finally seem to gain some sort of sense of curiosity and sense of just intrigue for this woman who he sees as very different from everyone else around him, because it's just a very interesting relationship that they have. She seems very, very genuine. She likes him as a person. She's very real, while he has been dealing with people who are so fake and just liking him because of who he is and what he's done. And she seems just a lot more real, at least as far as I could tell. One thing which is really interesting for this film is that there are only 3 voice actors. There's a lot of characters in this movie, but they're voiced by just 3 people. David Thewlis, he plays Michael Stone. He only plays Michael Stone. Jennifer Jason Leigh, who you may have seen in Hateful Eight recently, she plays Lisa. And then Tom Noonan, he plays everybody else, and it's very interesting to hear a man's voice coming out of a woman character. And so for a lot of film, I was wondering, why didn't they just hire female voice actors to portray some of these female characters? It would have made a little more sense, and it would have had me a little less confused. Because for a moment at the beginning, I thought that the voices were just coming out of Michael's head, and I didn't know what was happening at first. The animation is stop motion. This is something which isn't really seen in the animation world all that often anymore, and so it's a welcome thing to see return, and it's done very, very, very well. This is the first R-rated motion capture animation film that I believe that I have seen, and it's very interesting how it is done. It's very effective and it's very good, but it's a new twist on how they decide to do it. The movie does ultimately focus on the theme of, if everyone around you loves you, then and doesn't really despise you at all, you have no problems in your life, what is there to be ultimately thankful for, I guess, or what is there to appreciate? I think this is a film which I had to think about a decent amount after I watched it, and I sat in the theater for like a minute or two just kind of trying to process it, because it's a very confusing film which doesn't spell out everything that's trying to portray in black and white for you. You have to think about it. You have to think about this character and his interactions throughout this film, and the different sequences which play out both in his mind, in dreams, and just in actual reality between characters. It's very interesting to see it. That said, this film was definitely not for everyone. I was one of 3 people who were in this movie. The other 2 people walked out before it was done, and yeah. So this one's definitely not for everyone. It's kind of the Macbeth of right now for me. It's the second film that I've ever seen. Just a good chunk of the theater just walk out of. So guys, Anomalisa, this is a very interesting movie, and like I said, it's definitely not for everyone, but if you are someone who likes to dissect movies kind of like I do and doesn't want everything spelled out for you and you have to kind of think about what this film is ultimately about, definitely check this film out because I think it's actually pretty damn good. And while I don't understand everything that this film is trying to do, I can definitely appreciate it and I can see why this film was nominated for Best Animated Feature for the Oscars. So guys, those are my thoughts on Anomalisa. Let me know yours in the comments down below. If you have seen the film, definitely discuss it with me down here. I'd love to do that. Also, let me know if you liked the film as much as I did. Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose to. Appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.